The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the August 19th, the terrific Tuesday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day, and let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. Now, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I do want you to know that I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here, but even more important than that, and that's this. During this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. Well, you could pick up that phone in the old days. Right now, what you need to do is send me an email. Send it off to steve@tfnn.com. Inside that subject heading, please put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside the Tiger's Den, well, then any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on terrific Tuesday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Well, we've got quite a mixed bag out there, and I mean mixed. You've got the Dow that's up 115 points with the S&P down 20. That's not what's so mixed. The NASDAQ is off 241. The Russell's off 6. The transport's up 316. The semi's off 52. NASDAQ Composite down 227. New York Stock Exchange Composite up 79 buckaroonies. If we take a look at the SPY, in fact, what we're going to do here is I'm going to switch from this. We'll come back to this set of charts out here. But just to show you how crazy the markets are and why it's important to be able to take a look at all these different instruments that we do. We're going to start by taking a look at the S&P 500. Take a look at the 4 daily instruments that we have. You'll see in the S&P 500 cash index, we're trading to the downside. We're doing the same thing inside the ES Mini, although it may have found support by testing the top of that daily profile. And the SPY also headed lower. We'd say likely to go target the bottom of its profile at 639.36. But hold your horses here. Look at the equal-weighted ETF for the SPY. That's the RSP ETF out there. That is trading to the upside. So it's only the weighted instruments at this stage here that are ones that are getting schnockered. Is that important? It is. But it's also important to understand what the equal-weighted ETF is doing. And right now, we're trading inside a swing point from July 25th that generated volume of 9.6 million shares. We've done about 4.6 million shares in an hour and a half. We're pushing into that swing point with volume. So what's that mean, Steve-O? What that generally speaking means is that if we get a close above 186.35 and it's with more than 9.5 million shares, the equal-weighted ETF for the S&P 500, the RSP, will go target that top being 187.84. And it is a top. It is a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top out there. So you've got the ES Mini right now sitting at support. We should go take a look at, and we will, the intraday charts for that. But we've got more for you. What do you mean we've got more, Steve? If we take a look at what's going on inside the Qs out there, now we've got them all trading in the same direction. We did have the equal-weighted ETF for the Qs this morning, even trading higher in the face of the NQ moving lower, which the NQ right now could be targeting the bottom of its profile, the 23,454. I say could be because we were forming a TD9 count bottom pattern. I don't recall if we were in bar number 9 as we came into the 11 o'clock time frame, but we'll take a look at that. If you take a look at the Qs right now, they're testing an area of support, the center of its profile. Remember, at the center of a profile, we have both buyers and sellers. So potential support at 571.53. If that fails, then we should see a move back to 562.09. And in the case of the QQEW, we're simply trading below profile support. We're trading below yesterday's low. It'll likely head lower out there. Now let's go take a look at the Dow equity future contract. The Dow trading to the upside, but what else is it doing? Well, if we take a look at we take a look at the equity future contract out there right now, we've got no topping pattern. Price remains above the top of its profile. It's oscillator and change line. It is bullish. But if you look at the Dow Jones Cash Index, you've got a shooting star right now. Now, I do not know if it's going to be a shooting star at day's end, but if it were to be, you would have a Rhodes momentum indicator top. Inside the cash Index, that needs a bearish reversal candle to confirm a top. Price testing so far rejecting the top of its profile. That's at 449.48. And on the equal weighted ETF, yeah, I knew I saw something. The equal weighted ETF is going to go ahead and confirm complete a TD9 count top today. I'm telling you, these are the craziest charts out there with regard to the signals. Now, remember, we pay attention to the equal weighted ETF. So let's actually, I don't think I have those charts opened up, but we're going to go ahead and open them. I just have to find out where did I put those things. They are right about here. This is going to be the equal weighted daily and weekly for the S&P, for the Qs, and for the Dow out there. The RSP, the first one up on our screen, that's for the ES Mini out here. But we want to see what all three of the messages are for these equal weighted ETFs for the index for the indices out there. So with regard to the weekly chart for the QQEW, still got that sell the D point top. That's that bearish engulfing candle. We got the same set of signals there inside the RSP out there. And the Dow, equal weight for the Dow, a close above. Did it close above it last week? That's what I find out. It being 39.20. And last week's close was 39.18. So a close above 39.20 will negate the Dow's Gartley or sell the D point top out there. Now we take a look at the daily time frame. Equal weight for the Qs, TD9 count top, big time in place out there. We've got a Rhodes momentum indicator top on the RSP, and now the equal weighted ETF for the Dow is going to complete a TD9 count top. If the market's going to top, it basically is signaling to us it ought to do it at day's end out there, based upon these equal weighted ETFs out there. Of course, we want to take a look at more to see what else is going on. So let's go flip back to that main screen that we have out there. So whereas if you take a look at the SPY, you'll see a number 9 where my cursor is at. Number 9 typically means we've got a TD9 count pattern. Well, we do, but because we don't have a star by it, if you look at the SPY daily chart out here, what you'll see is the actual high of the pattern so far, and will likely remain the high of the pattern is bar number 6. That high being 646.19. The bar's high that was on for bar number 8 on August 15th only got up to 646.09. 09 versus 46.19. Missed it by a dime out there. So you don't have a TD9 count top for the SPY, but you do if you take a look at the S&P 500, right? We just took a look at that, or if we didn't take a look at that, let's go ahead and do that. So you see that differentiation, the TD9 count top coming here on that high from August the 15th. So that case, inside the S&P cash index, we got up to 64.8134, which was above the 64.8028 level from August the 13th out there. Now, on a weekly time frame, the SPY will negated its sell the D point top last week out there. So again, it's really a signal that this is more short-term oriented. Likely. We have to say likely, although I can't pull up the chart today because there's some type of issue with the database. We do know that the seasonal pattern, the post-election seasonal pattern, has us moving lower in through the middle to end of October. And that pattern is still alive and well. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. I've got the intraday charts up for the NQ on my screen. What we can see here is a 30-minute TD9 count bottom pattern that is going to go ahead and complete in another 12 minutes. So that's in. What should unfold here is price should rally towards its oscillator and change line. The oscillator and change line on a 30-minute time frame is 23,677. The next area of resistance could be its TD9 count breakout level. Usually that's support, 23,734 out there. Above that right now is a profile at 23,750. We've also got a 15-minute TD9 count bottom pattern that has completed, and this is rallying towards a 23,634 level out there. We've got a new bullish structured profile on a 10-minute time frame. Price is trading above the center. That increases the odds of move towards the top of that profile, 23,643. So you're looking for at least a intraday bounce here. Sponsor, that's brought to you by the NQ out there. If we take a look at the ES Mini, I don't believe we're going to see the same pattern. But what I do believe we're going to see, if I'm not mistaken, is a wave number 7G bottom for its 30-minute time frame. But Stevie could be off on that, but that's my recollection, is that while the NQ was forming a 30-minute TD9 count bottom, the ES was forming a wave number 7 bottom. But we don't even really need to, well, right now you've got a Rhodes Momentum Indicator signal with a bullish hammer candle out there. No, we're in still in wave number 6 out there. So we didn't get to that 7th wave inside of the ES Mini out there. But a bullish reversal candle would confirm a Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom pattern out there. So it looks to me like the market's really being driven. Well, it's being driven by the Dow, quite frankly, and the NQ. Now, the ES Mini does have a TD9 count bottom. The bar that we're in for its 5-hour time frame chart doesn't complete till 2. So that level is being tested, that level of support, which is at 64.54 out there. I mentioned the Dow. Let's go take a look at it, see if we've got any kind of topping signals out here. Helps. We got to actually put in the correct symbol out there. That makes it a little bit easier. Let's see if Stevie can do it the second time. I can't. See, when I totally concentrate, I can do almost anything. Now, let's take a look at the Dow Equity Future contract. It's got support on its daily time frame, quite frankly, at its oscillator and change line. Just looking to see if there's any intraday signals worth pointing out to you out here. And so just waiting for these charts to populate. The answer that I'm getting is I'm not seeing a whole heck of a lot. Yeah, so what I am seeing on the 240-minute time frame chart is that the rally really ran into resistance up at this 45,170. Well, let me give you the exact number because I can't read it myself. It's a 45,156. 45,156 is the TD9 count breakdown resistance level for the 4-hour time frame. If we get a close above that, we'll continue to move higher, but we know that's the strong resistance level as we speak right now. So that's about it that I've got for you on the equity futures. We can always come back to that. Let's say that the NQ is the one that is driving the train out there, so we'll certainly pay attention to that 30-minute TD9 count bottom pattern. In the meantime, let's take a quick peek at the advanced client oscillator, which should be below zero. Is it? Yeah, maybe the New York Stock Exchange was rallying. It's above zero. So the interesting thing here about the New York Stock Exchange is that this is rallying into a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top that went ahead and formed between July 25th and July 28th out there. And we're basically testing that level and going to go ahead and form a TD9 count topping pattern today. Now, the key for the New York Stock Exchange to get any kind of downside traction would be a close below that oscillator and change line. And that's at the 2815 level out there. In the case of the spot VIX index, it's still trading well below its 50-day exponential moving average, which is 1710. So that's generally speaking, that is a bullish signal for the S&P 500 out there. Anything else that we need to look at here? I don't think so. So I'm just going to close this down. We'll get to a blank screen momentarily, and then we're going to switch this over and start taking a look at the requests that came in. And the first one coming in from Nitram inside the Tiger's Den, who wants to take a look at both Meta. I think it was Meta. No, I don't know who had Meta. So Stevie must have screwed up here. I didn't type something in. I think somebody did. But in any event, I've got Meta. How about that? If you take a look at the daily time frame, yesterday's gap down confirmed a second Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. We already did the first one with this dark cloud cover candle, and that was on August the 13th. Right now, we've got price pulling into a swing point, basically. Well, price had gapped up on the trading day of July 31st, 38 million shares. We're pulling back right now with 4.7 million shares. So that's about what? That's a 14 million share a day or so. The swing point that is trading into has got 19 million shares on Meta. That's the swing point from August the 1st out there. Price inside of the weekly time frame for Meta. Can we find I don't have an A to B equals CD pattern out there. So I don't have a top inside of Meta for its weekly time frame. Price may just be pulling back to test support, which is at 744.37 or the first level of support. Where are the profiles? Let's go add those in. Let me do this here. Let me just add those in. This way it'll be a bit easier. Give me a moment. Don't know why they're not there, but we most definitely need them in order to be able to give you a good enough review of what's going on in the weekly time frame chart. That post, yeah. So let's see where those profiles show up here for the weekly time frame. There we go. So price is getting back towards its oscillator and change line and the top of its profile. The top of the profile in the weekly time frame, 747.90, and then really just below that is the oscillator and change line. The monthly time frame does not have a topping pattern at all. So again, this looks to be more of a short-termish type event out there. And in the case of Meta or any of these NDX 100 stocks, you've got to be concerned about the 2 or 3 day retracement, because since the low in April, that's all that we've really gotten out consecutively, that is a 2 or a 3 day retracement, today being day number 2. So whoever asked for that, I hope that I answered the questions that were requested, and if not, please write back, let me know, and we'll get to it. We've got Netflix out here. God, I must have screwed something up. We'll find out momentarily. If we take a look at Netflix, Netflix is confirmed a TD9 count top yesterday, completing a TD9 count top pattern today. However, what price has done out there, so if you're short Netflix, be careful, because price got back basically to its the top of its profile and found support. We'd have to go look at the intraday charts to see what else that means. The top of that profile, 1192.44. The actual low of the day, 1192.79 out there. Now, if price gets back above its green oscillator and change line, that means rally above 1210.44. It's going to generate more of a neutral signal for its daily time frame. It closed below 1192, and we should see the buy zone come into effect, 1170 to 1177, or even its breakout level. And its breakout level is down at 1151. The weekly time frame chart for Netflix. No topping pattern. Price is inside its profile out there, and as long as it remains below 1226.77, you've got 1172.72 as well as 1164 pennies out there. Now, Netflix on the monthly time frame chart, that might be a sell the D point top. Can we easily find an A to B equals CD pattern? I can find one that makes sense out there. It looks like this. You start with, whoops, what did I do over there? Don't know. But let's try this here again on this chart. Oh, that wasn't what I was doing. So if we take a look at the A to B point out here, I'd have to say that's the A to B point, and then the C point was that retracement just a few months later out there. Now, this is going to be well more than a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD. You can clearly see that. The TD9 count was negated, but we're going with a sell the D point top on the monthly time frame for Netflix out there. What should really unfold is a move back to 1107.47. You got to watch the two levels today for Netflix, 1192.44 in the 1210.50-ish area. Let's call it 1210.60. You close above that, you're neutral. You close below that, we may continue to move lower. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Trader's Edge is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. Next request is a take with IBRX out here. We can see on the daily time frame, this formed a TD9 count top. It does that back on June the 10th. This is now turned into an A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. The B point was a trading session from July 1st. That had volume of 5.3 million shares. When that swing point was passed, it was on July 25th. And it was with 7.9 million shares out there. So you've got a confirmed A to B equals CD pattern to the downside with a price projection of $1.85. We're trading below the bottom of its bullish structure daily profile and its red oscillator and change line. As long as those conditions remain, Nitram, the $1.85 remains the price target. Now, on a weekly time frame, we are trading below profile support at 269. We are trading below its red oscillator and change line and into a swing point from May the 9th. The swing point had 92 million shares. So far, in a day and an hour of trading, we're down with 16 million shares. I can't do the math on that to figure out if we're moving in higher with volume or not. But we're trading inside that swing point, so at least we ought to go explore that low. And on the monthly time frame chart, price is below its red oscillator and change line. It does have a TD9 count bottom pattern. Was it negated? The blow on that was at 235. Last month's close was 246. We're trading at 231. So if we close below 235, we'll negate a TD9 count bottom. That suggests $1.25 would be the price target. So IBRX does look to me like it wants lower price out there. Hope that helps you out, Nitram. You also wanted to look at, or did we already do that? Did we look at? Yeah, we already looked at Netflix for you. I believe we looked at Netflix. So if we didn't, would you please let me know? I can't even remember. How about that? But what we're going to look at next here is for Dan inside the Tiger's Den. Dan, who goes by ABCD, Dan Turn, on a daily time frame, is going to go ahead and, well, it has a completed Rhodes Momentum Indicator top out there. It will go ahead and confirm a TD9 count top today with a close above 649. We're at 666 right now. Doesn't matter where it closes. Doesn't matter if you get a TD9 count top. You've already got a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. Looking like maybe this is a 4-day pullback, a 4-day retracement as price tries to explore the bottom of its new profile, and that's at $6.25. That's a daily message. This would be day number 2 to the downside. We can see this has moved lower for 3 and 4 consecutive days, although today could be a bottom. The reason why I say it maybe isn't is because price is trading below that green oscillator and change line. Price has lost momentum. Turn on a weekly time frame looks like it actually wants to trade higher. It negated a TD9 count top last week, so that suggests it wants to run to 843. So we just need the daily to do its deed. That deed could be just getting back to 624, could be a 2 to 4 day move to the downside. On a monthly time frame, the next area of resistance for Turn, and it's a real key area of resistance, is 715. If price is able to close above 715 for 2 consecutive sessions, then this will be considered more than a counter trend move, and instead what price would do is go target the 928 level. So 715 being all important, 625 likely being all important as well. That's what we see when we take a look at Turn. Want to make sure I gave you what you were looking for. I mentioned your weekly TD9 count. Well, TD9 count would be bar number 3, although you've got that, and against anything else. But what you can see is there is no TD9 count top for its weekly time frame. So again, we keep getting messages as we look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts where the weekly and the monthly typically don't have any kind of tops out there, and it's really just about the daily kind of doing its thing out there. All right, let's move off of Turn and move over to XPEV. That's GTE's, one of his favorite stocks out there. XPEV right now is trading at $20.88. It is trading above the top of its profile, which is at 2048. It's trading above its green oscillator and change line, likely to head higher. Now, it has already tested and rejected at this stage of the game the swing point from August 11th. 11.5 million shares traded then so far today. In 2 hours of trading, we've done 12 million shares. You're pushing into the swing with volume. If it closes, most certainly, if it closes below 2103, we're 2088, you'll be back up there to test that. If you close above that, then you're going to go test that swing point high. The weekly time frame is complementing the idea of moving higher because price is trading above profile resistance and its green oscillator and change line. On a monthly time frame, we are also trading above profile resistance, so the daily call stands as is. XPEV should make a run again for that swing point from August 11th, whether it's the low or the the high. Just depends on where it closes the day. Marvin writes in, and Marvin would like to take a look at MSTR. So let's pull that up on our screen out there. MicroStrategy MSTR is trading out at 343.95. It's trading below daily support, trading below its red oscillator and change line, and in fact may be forming an A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. Well, it's forming it. Well, it has the B point been taken out with volume? The B point would be the trade day of August 1st. 21.8 million shares. Well, let's see here. We closed below that? No. How about yesterday? We were 9 million shares. Today, 6 million shares, 2 hours of trading. That's 18 million shares going against 21 million. Will we have a confirmed A to B equals CD pattern to the downside on the daily time frame? The answer there is no. But will we have an A to B equals CD pattern? And the answer there is yes. So let's go ahead and draw that in. Let's draw in the A to B point out here. Let's just simply go ahead and move that over to the C level out there just for time efficiency out here. And hopefully time efficiency. And the 1-to-1 gets us down to about 322.12. I'm not saying that's where price is going to stop. Now, when we look at the weekly time frame chart, shows support between 313.70 and 333.14. If price were to close below 313.70, that's a level where a counter trend move to the downside would come to an end. That would tell you, MSTR, that there's something else going on. That something else, by the way, would take you back towards 235.93 to 255.37. Now to the monthly time frame chart. The monthly time frame chart still has a Rhodes momentum indicator top. Price has basically just simply been trading between its green oscillator and change line on a monthly basis, which we are trading just below right now, it being 349.44, and resistance, which is basically its profile top, 454.88. So, MicroStrategy, it doesn't matter where it's trading on the 19th. Not that it doesn't matter, but on the monthly time frame chart, it doesn't matter, because the monthly time frame chart says, come the end of the month, if I close below that green oscillator and change line, that will be the first time below that level since about February or March of 2023 out there. So over 2 years. So closing below that would tell you it would be a pretty big signal out there. So Marvin, you're looking for profile support, none on the daily. I give it to you on the weekly, again, 313 to 333. Those are the key levels. I'm assuming that you're long because you're looking for that support level. That's the key area out there. If you can handle that heat, yeah, well, you got to do what you got to do out there, but that's the levels that you'll be watching from a profile support standpoint. When we come back from this break, Peak G wants to look at the silver miners, the silver junior miners, and of course, if anybody else wrote in, we'll take a look at their request as well. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. Yvonne wanted to take a United Health. I'm assuming many others do as well, after knowing that Berkshire Hathaway has taken a position in United Health. Now, what's going to complete today, Yvonne, on a daily time frame, is a confirmed TD9 count top out there. That pattern will complete tomorrow. This is going to be day number 1 of a retracement. It's possible this only does a 2 to 3 bar retracement out there. Where price could pull back to, though, is it could pull back all the way to test the top of its profile, which basically would also close the gap, and that's at 270.68. So you've gotten up to resistance on the weekly time frame. By the way, the weekly profile resistance at 317.36. The actual high for the week, 316.40. So you've got that resistance up there. The monthly chart should go ahead and confirm a TD9 count bottom pattern at month end. So, Yvonne, to the extent you're looking to enter a trade here, you might want to break this trade into a couple of different chunks. One would be, I would say, after a 2-day pullback. So if we close lower tomorrow, check out the volume there, obviously. So that would be one place. Add another after a 3-day pullback. And then that final would be getting back to that 270 area. Just something for you to consider with regard to United Health. So I hope that helps you out. Peak G had written in, wants to take a look at those silver miners out here. So let's go take a look at those. The first one, SIL, is the ticker symbol. Nope, that's not it. Stevie put that, guess I put that all the way back up here. Yes, he did. So we take a look at the silver miners via the ETF SIL. Peak, when we take a look at the daily time frame, what we're going to see out here is a Rhodes momentum indicator top at, in essence, its all-time high. That's on the daily time frame. What we see now is that price is also below its green oscillator and change line. Peak, it has lost its momentum. Now, the positive news, if you want to consider positive, is you got profile support below price. That's typically a bullish message out there. Doesn't mean price can't go explore it, it being 50-20. So your next level of support on the daily time frame is down at the 50-20 level. Below that, you'll be looking at a buy zone between 47.87 and 48.64. On the weekly time frame chart, no idea what the candle's going to look like at week's end. At the moment, though, at 11:44, it's a bearish engulfing candle. A bearish engulfing candle is where the body of the current candle wraps around the prior candle, can wrap around more than just the prior, but does that. Well, that's the candle that formation we have. If we were to get that at month's end, we would have a Rhodes week's end, we would have a Rhodes momentum indicator top. Now, in that instance, support is down around 51.52. That's the oscillator and change line, all the way down to the top of its profile, 49.76. The monthly time frame says 1. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'd like to trade higher. It was testing that prior all-time swing point that had 16.6 million shares. And this month, we've got 20 million shares. So what that says to us is after the daily and the weekly are done and are ready to form a bottom, getting back to support or maybe a bottom pattern, then we ought to see price get back up to test that high at 52.87. That's the high I'm referring to in August of 2020. So, Pete, that's what's going on. We take a look at SIL. Let's go look at those junior silver miners as well, SILJ, and see what they're doing. Let's take a look at the daily time frame first, which has a TD9 count top. Price is now trading below its green oscillator and change line. It has lost its momentum. It's trading into a swing point that, not a swing point, but a gap up a day from August 7th. 9.2 million shares that day to the upside. To the downside, we're at 4.2. We are pulling back with more volume than that gap up on August the 7th. That's a message of caution out there. Today will be day number 2 to the downside on a weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, I don't have any kind of a topping pattern just yet. I say just yet because if we were to get a bearish reversal candle, that would confirm a sell the D point top. And on a monthly basis, things look hunky-dory out there. There's a swing point from back here in August of 2024, did volume of 63 million shares. This month so far, we are at 89 million shares. In other words, a close above on a monthly basis, 1518 peak, is going to confirm an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside on the monthly time frame. But right now, you've got to deal with the daily out there. And I would say because there is no profile support until we get to 1536, you're keeping your eye on the weekly chart, because the weekly chart has potential support between 1553 and 1572. So, Pete, that's what's going on with regard to SIL and SILJ. Hope that helps you out. Always good to hear from you. Thanks for your request. Mimi writes in, she wanted to take a look at Netflix. I know I did look at this chart earlier, Mimi, but you specifically were asking for profiles, so let me give that to you. I won't go through the full review, but please listen to the beginning of the show. I think it might have been even in the first or segment, where I went through Netflix entirely. But your level of support that's going to be most key for you today is going to be 1192.44. That is the top of that daily profile. If we close below that, that suggests a move to its buy zone, profile buy zone between 1170 and 1177. And then finally, if price were to crash below that, move below that, we will be looking at price getting back to its breakout level, and that is at 1151.87. So, Mimi, hope that helps you out. Again, go listen to the full review if you had signed in late, and you'll hear that as soon as it gets posted, probably within a half an hour or so. If we take a look at ticker symbol OC, OC is for Greg, who's looking for an entry point. Well, Greg, what do we got here? I believe we've got a sell the D point. Let me pull this daily chart back further. No, I don't think we have completed that. No, we do not. We have not. No, we've not come anywhere near close to completing a to B equals CD pattern. So what do we have? Okay. I've got no top at all on the daily time frame. We just finished a 3-day pullback, a 3-bar pullback. Let's open up the daily chart for this. Let's see what its cadence has been, what its tempo has been. Its tempo has been, for the most part, 3 or 4 day pullbacks. There's been a few twos, but a lot of them are 3 or 4 day pullbacks. It looks like we just saw another 3-day pullback. I would say you're going to get a couple of days rally out there. I think your preference, I don't know about your preference, but your preference might be to buy a pullback. You might consider the next 3-day pullback out there. Now, it's not like we're at resistance out here, so it's not like I've got a reason to tell you that that's what it's going to do. If you look at the weekly time frame chart, last week we closed above profile support. That's bullish. We're trading above it again this week. This is longer term. Price might want to get to the 183.49 level weekly. TD9 count, breakdown resistance. On a monthly time frame chart, you had wave number 7, you had a Rhodes momentum indicator top, and price found support at its breakout level 135.01. We are trading inside a monthly bullish structured profile, with price being above the center line at 140.02. We're printing at 153.01. That tells us that longer term, price wants to make a move to 164.94. So, You've got to do the math on this one, Greg. I don't know what you were looking for a risk reward out there, but I'd say odds favor right now. Price is going to go target 164.94, and to a certain extent, you could go about, because we had that 3-day pullback, you could go ahead and add that to that position now. So I hope that provided the information you were looking for. We've got Yvonne who wants to take a look at ticker symbol NIO. I didn't get a chance to get that into this. Oh, I did get it in the system out there. NIO is taking on a TD9 count top, and so far it's rejected that being the high from July 23rd. And the price closing below 521 today, that TD9 count top will stay in place and likely is leading to a sideways consolidation. We'll finish looking at NIO when we get back from this break.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back. We're looking at the stock charts here for NIO. This is for Yvonne. Yvonne, the key number here is 524. That happens to be the top of the monthly profile. So that's your resistance point, which is basically about the top of the daily consolidation pattern that we're also looking at out there. The weekly profile resistance at 502. Price is trading into a swing point that if we were to close above, that's a swing point from July 25th. Volume there, 424 million. High, 521. That would actually trigger an A to B equals CD dependent on the upside. So far for the week, our volume here is 106. Again, I can't do really the math to figure out after a day and a couple hours of trading what type of volume that we're doing. But at this stage here, you're up against resistance levels, and you're pushing it with lighter volume, at least on the daily time frame out there. So that's what's going on with regard to NIO. Let's get back and take a look at those NQ charts out there. Finish off the show this way. So the TD9 count bottom pattern still holding. The issue right now is going to be on the 15-minute time frame chart. Oh, come on, 10-minute chart. What are you doing there? There we go. You can see that prices rallied into that oscillator and change line. So that's your first key level of resistance to the upside, about 23,577. If price can get above that, we ought to get up towards the 23,616, 23,658 level. On a TD9 count bottom pattern, John, price should rally up towards its oscillator and change line. Does it like 80+% of the time, at least gets up to that level. If price closes below the TD9 count bottom, though, that TD9 count bottom, that price point out there, that's going to be key, is 23,514.50. If price gets below 23, close below 23,514.50 on a 30-minute time frame, more likely than not, because I don't see any other profile support out here, what price would do is target the bottom of its daily profile, and that's at the 23,454 level out there. So that's what we see when we take a look at the NQ out here. Watch that low, as well as watch the rally that should ensue. I'm not saying, and look, if it gets above 23,658-ish, you could get all the way up towards the 23,751 area. Folks, thanks so much for tuning in and on Terrific Tuesday. I hope that's what you have, and I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow on Wonderful Wednesday. Have a great day. Take care and be safe out there.